I was diagnosed with anorexia nervosa at 15 years old. Anorexia nervosa is an eating disorder characterized by an abnormally low body weight, an intense fear of gaining weight, and a distorted perception of weight. I was always pretty athletic. I was always very drawn to sports and really anything to do with like physical performance. I remember always playing baseball and soccer and obsessing over that and always wanting to be the absolute best that I possibly could. I was born in Detroit and then I moved to Washington and I lived there for 12 years. And it wasn't until I moved from Washington to Utah that things kind of started to change for me mentally. And that move was really, really hard for me. I left behind a lot of my friends and that was basically all that I knew. I kind of became a lot less social. I remember going to school when I moved here and just feeling alone and empty. I lost my sense of identity. Something that I could control at the time was how much food that I ate. As a result of kind of a lack of self-esteem and feeling of control and feeling like my whole world got kind of turned upside down, I kind of slowly started to restrict food. Anorexia is hard to explain if you never have gone through it. It's a psychological disorder. It affects everybody differently, but the one clear thing is that it makes everybody's life really freaking hard. I struggled with this for 4 years and it was just terrible. I remember going to therapy all the time. I never really liked it. I thought that the therapist never really understood me. I thought that they just wanted to make me fat and I didn't want that. It's a crazy thing to me is like, as terrible as that was, like the anorexia that I dealt with at the time, it was my best friend, it was my comfort. I could always turn to it and it was always there. As terrible as I felt, I didn't want to let it go because that was something that I identified with. I was really into music during high school. I was in lots of bands. I recorded in studio records. I played around at multiple concerts, played a few stadium shows. Locally, I've actually played private gigs for like the Utah Jazz and on weddings and parties and stuff like that. So I think that my friends always thought that I was like at lunchtime at high school when I wasn't there eating lunch with them or whatever, that I was just practicing. And half the time that was true. And the other time I was just locked in my car on like a hot summer day with my jacket because I was cold and I was still cold even when it was probably like 100 plus degrees in the car. That was high school for me. I was just surviving, I wasn't living. It wasn't until my freshman year of college that I decided I needed to make a change. This was literally a life or death decision for me. At 19 years old, at my lowest point, I was just 135 pounds at 6 feet tall. I remember the last thing my dad said to me before he let me go after I moved into my dorms. He basically said that I had a choice to become the person I wanted to be over the next 4 years or however long of my life, that I could choose to keep living like this or make a change. And that has stuck with me even to this day. And that was the thing that planted the seed. As I progressed throughout my freshman year and I realized how I just couldn't keep living a lot like this. I couldn't keep avoiding food if I was actually going to be successful in life. I lived with this for 4 years and I struggled with it day in and day out. And so I decided to start to learn how to lift weights. And I hired a coach. I hired one of my best friends, I didn't know back then, I hired Quinn Vitale as my coach. And I basically placed my whole entire trust in him. And I did the scariest thing of my life. I decided I was going to eat and gain weight and accept the fat gain that came with it and trust Quinn. I mean, I remember the first day in the gym when I got pumped and I kind of like started seeing like some of the veins poking out in the striations and like I thought that was super, super cool. And I got like that lifting high and those endorphins. As I progressed with my lifting, I just noticed I got really good at it. And I noticed that things started to change for me mentally with food and my body and my whole self-esteem. I loved that. Life was just getting better. Training became my new form of therapy. It spoke to me on a deeper level than any other form of counseling ever did. It understood me perfectly.
Let's go! Up!
I got hooked with hitting PRs and the feeling that came with strength training. It was like one of my favorite things. And as terrible and as hard as those years were I was struggling with anorexia, that's what made me who I am today. And I've been able to help so many people from my struggles and people that do deal with this and deal with issues like this get to a healthier state of mind and body. And this is just something that I'm passionate about, and I want to really help everybody feel the way that I do now. I felt like I finally, truly had a purpose. Fitness can transform your life, not only in the gym, but also outside of it. Everybody wants to feel good in their own skin and confident. I believe that lifting and focusing on your health and fitness is something that will get you there. I remember what it was like to feel broken and helpless. Lifting changed that for me. I want to change that for you.